What's up, everybody? Anton here from Dropship Lifestyle, and in today's episode of Dropship Weekly, I'm going to answer a question that came through on one of our recent episodes, which, by the way, if you ever have any questions that you want to see me answer on one of our weekly shows, just comment below this video. I really do check them myself, and if enough people want to hear about one specific thing, there's a very good chance that I will answer it in a future episode. So yeah, just let me know in the comments. But regarding this episode, this question came in from Kashawn, and he said that he wants to know how I feel about getting products manufactured to sell on Shopify. And he asked if I talk about it in a future episode. Now, that discussion, right, of should you manufacture or private label or dropship, it is something that's come up before on Dropship Weekly, but obviously it's been a while. I've been making these videos for like 3 or 4 years now, probably longer. So I'm gonna tackle it again in this video and kind of share my thoughts now moving into 2019 of when dropshipping makes sense, when private labeling makes sense, when even manufacturing products yourself makes sense. So with that being said, let's just go ahead and get into this week's episode of Dropship Weekly. Okay, so I think the first question that's important to ask yourself if you're debating on which to do is really why, right? Why would you want to manufacture products when you could just drop ship them? And I think there's really two different reasons that pop into people's heads. And the first reason is typically they think that they can make more money, right? And I'll just use more money as a net example, because when I'm saying that, what I'm really talking about is net profit. All right, so net profit per order. Now, dropshipping, as you know, there's tons of different ways to do it. All it really is a method of order fulfillment. But typically with a dropship lifestyle store, when you use the lead value optimization techniques that I use, the goal is to have a 30% net margin. Okay, so I'll use blue for the dropshipping example, and with that, again, 30% is what you're going for. So let's just say you build a dropship store and you're selling, I have a desk back there, so you're selling desks. And let's say you are selling them for $1,000. Then that means that your goal, your target should be to make $300 net per sale, okay? So if you're running a store and you're selling the desks back there for $1,000 every time you get an order, after you pay for your cost of goods sold, after you pay for shipping, your traffic costs, your merchant fees, blah, 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 your virtual assistants, you should be left with about that. So again, the first reason that sometimes people think like, hey, maybe I should start actually manufacturing these things or private labeling them is so that this number could be more, right? Now, this is where, yes, it can be more and it will be more, but you need to really take a look at this from multiple different angles. But let's just say, right? Let's say that this desk that you're making $300 on, let's say you're getting it from your supplier, your actual cost of goods sold is $500, right? And that's very realistic. So I'm just gonna put 500 here, okay? So if you're paying $500 for it, you sell it for $1,000, then you have $500, again, cost of goods sold, shipping, virtual assistants if you have any, all those other expenses. And basically what that means is you have another $200 to play with, then to be left with that profit, okay? So what you'd be looking for if you wanted to manufacture and you were debating versus dropshipping, what should you do, is getting this cost down right here. Because the cost of advertising may go up, it may go down, it really depends, and we will talk about that. But let's just say that your goal with, I'll just do MF for manufacturing, was to get the same or similar desks instead of 500. Let's just say you wanted to get them for 300, okay? And if you got them for 300, and if your other expenses, again, like shipping and, again, virtual assistants and traffic, if they were made the same and they were $200, then in that case, instead of making 300, you would make 500, right? Per sale. So again, that's the typical argument that you see people make. And not argument, but that's, what I mean? That's the typical thing that people are thinking about. Okay, I could drop ship and, I could process the orders, I could take the orders, I can get the traffic, I can make that. Or I could just find the person that's actually making these things, like making these desks. I could buy them in bulk, I could bring them in, I could, get a warehouse or a fulfillment center or something, and then I could ship direct to my customer. And instead of making 300, I'll make 500. Now, here's the thing. it's not that easy. And as I'm sure you know, if you're watching this and you've ever thought about manufacturing or even, building your own brands, there are more expenses. And that's the biggest thing, because that extra $200, and let me just write this here so everyone's aware of what this is. This would be your COGS, okay, your cost of goods sold. So let's just say, best case scenario, you saved the $200 there. Well, it's not that easy, because this manufacturing, they're not drop shipping. So now that $200 difference that you would make, you do need to pay to actually ship those items from China, most likely, or wherever you're getting them, to get them to the States, right? So automatically factor in X amount of dollars per unit for a container that you're bringing in, okay, for the ocean freight charge. If you're gonna ship them via air, it's even more expensive. Again, that comes out of that $200 difference that you're making right there. Now, after that, you have to factor in the costs of actually having a place that these items are going to go. So once your container gets to whatever port you're shipping it to, it has to be unpacked, it has to be taken off the truck and either put into, again, a fulfillment center or into a warehouse that you're going to have to rent. So if you have to rent a warehouse, then obviously you have that cost. If you need someone there beyond you, then you have that employee cost. If you're going to fulfillment center, you need to pay them for space, you need to pay them per employee's time, you need to pay them per shipping fee, right? Per package that's going out. They add on that handling fee to prepare it, to ship it, to do all that, because that's how they make their money. So all of a sudden, right, that $200 extra that you were going to make because of your difference in cost of goods sold really isn't there anymore. Now, I'm not saying you can't make it work, and trust me, I don't want anyone that watches this to think they should never manufacture or bring in their own products, because I do think there's definitely a time and a place, and for a lot of people, it makes sense to do this, but just know that it doesn't automatically at all mean you're going to make more money, because not only does that money have to go to those places I just listed, you're also going to have to deal with things like returns yourself. They're going to go back to your warehouse or to your fulfillment center, right? There's more hands-on work that makes this all happen. So keep that in mind, okay? But that's normally the first argument that you'll see for people thinking, again, I should actually manufacture my own stuff. Now, let's talk about the other reason that people would want to do this. And this one I agree with, and this is why I think it does make sense, okay? So this will be our second why. Now, this is because, honestly, it's unique, okay? With this first example, like I just showed you, I don't think it makes much sense from a straight up profit standpoint. But if you develop your own product line, again, let's say you're selling desks and you come out with a new brand, right? A new spin on things, maybe something's unique about the look or the style or how it's assembled or something, whatever, you have your own spin on it. Well, then that's good, because you can stand out from your competitors. So I would still recommend you drop ship everybody else's stuff. I would still recommend you make money with it, but I would recommend that you introduce your own product line, your own physical product brand, onto your existing store. Now, what that does for you is allow you to make that same money per sale from everybody else's stuff, to make hopefully a little bit more from your own thing. But even if you make the same amount with your unique brand per sale as net profit, even if you're making that same amount, you can then take your unique brand and you could have all of your competitors sell for it, right? So let's say your store, you're competing with, let's say there's 10 other online retailers selling the same stuff. Well, if you have a unique brand, your competition starts selling your stuff. Now, what's good about that, again, is you're making more money, right? You have more sales coming through your business. You have another stream of income. Not only that, and this is kind of the biggest reason I think it is worth it to manufacture and have your own brand, but you also have a new asset. Okay, a big part of building these stores that I love is the fact that we could build them and then sell them for a lot of money. Just a store with no unique brand attached to it. And if you want to go this route, you now have this asset, which is your store, which you could sell, and you have your own physical product brand, which is your asset, another asset that you could sell. So do I think manufacturing is worth it? And I think the question is, what are my thoughts on manufacturing on products for Shopify? Again, it's a totally different business model than dropshipping, even though a lot of the fundamentals and the foundations are the same. Things like website design, things like conversion optimization, things like getting traffic. There's a lot of overlap, on both sides, but the actual business behind it This part really is its own business. It's basically a spin-off. It's something else. It's a whole nother monster. Dealing with importing, dealing with, even if you're not importing, but dealing with warehousing and fulfillment centers. And I'm not just saying this because this is what I think. I've literally brought in dozens and dozens and dozens of 40-foot containers from China to all different ports in the United States. So I know what this model looks like. Again, I think there's a time and a place for it, but if you're watching this right now and you're like, okay, I want to get started with e-commerce, and I think I want to do drop shipping, but maybe I have some money to invest and I want to put it into manufacturing, I would still tell you that it's not your first step. Doesn't matter how much money you have in the bank or what you want to just throw it into. My advice is still build your drop shipping store using the dropship lifestyle model. Go ahead, make your money, get extremely profitable there. Then when you're ready, when you've made the decision that you really want to commit to actually running two businesses in tandem, once you make that decision, then it makes sense to start manufacturing, bringing in your own product lines, your own unique, they can't just be ripoffs of other people, but your own unique stuff. And then from there, again, you'll sell it on your store, your competition will sell it on theirs as well, and you'll have a whole new asset, whole new revenue stream, whole new business you could sell one day, should you ever want to. So those are my thoughts on manufacturing for Shopify. Again, it makes sense, but it's kind of a right time, right place scenario. Definitely not for everybody, but something that, hey, if you want to do it, this is the way. That's the path. So again, hope you enjoyed that. Any questions on this, just let me know below the video. Obviously, we keep doing these Dropship Weekly things, so more than happy to answer your questions. The next couple weeks are probably going to be more like vlog style videos because I'm leaving on Monday. I'm flying out to Bali for our 5th annual Dropship Lifestyle Retreat. So I'll probably just be showing you some behind the scenes out in Bali, what it's all about out there. Got about 100 people coming out to join us. But after that, we'll be back with Dropship Weekly, back to our normal training videos. So if you got value as always, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments, and I will see you all in the next episode of Dropship Weekly, or maybe out in Bali. Talk to you soon.